I know midterms are starting to wind down a little bit, so we're enjoying the brief break that we have from classes over the next couple of days.
Absolutely. You know, just for us personally, we have more exams coming up the next couple of weeks, and so we just got out of a rough spell. If you do have a chance to get out this weekend, like I said, this will be the time.
Exactly. While the dew points are low and while the temperatures are high, it's the best time to enjoy the spring weather in Florida.
Absolutely. Now we're going to go off and look at the southeast with Josh.
Thanks, Maddie and Zach. I'm student meteorologist Josh Green. With a look at a couple cities in the southeast, we'll start off in the south of Florida right now in Gainesville. A nice look over UF. They seem to have some partly skies for their sunset. Up in Atlanta, they have got some cloudy skies right now over the city. Hopefully that'll be clearing up into the evening hours. Up in Virginia, they've also got some cloudy skies, but we can take a look. We can see that little sunset trying to peer through right now. And in Bowling Green, Kentucky, they've got clear skies. It's going to make for a very nice evening. As for our current temperatures in the southeast, over to our west, we've got 73 in New Orleans, 76 in Shreveport, and over to the east, we've got 74 in Montgomery. The entirety of Florida right now is a bit in the low 70s to upper 60s. We've got 65 registering in Jacksonville right now, and a mild 72 down in Miami. As for our dew points, we've got something interesting going on right now. You can see this sharp contrast right now. This is because there's a lot of moisture coming in to the Louisiana area. And as you move a bit to the east, you can see these dew points drop pretty significantly. So we've got some drier air over to our eastern side, north towards the Atlantic coast. And down in Florida, we've also got some muggy conditions, 61 down in Miami right now because they're seeing some scattered showers move through the area. As for our winds, you can see we've got a general easterly wind pushing through all of south and central Florida right now because of that high pressure system over here, which has clockwise winds. And making our way a bit to the west, you can see they've got a southerly flow, which is bringing all that moisture into the Louisiana area, 18 miles per hour in Jackson right now. As for our satellite and radar, for most of the Florida panhandle and the rest of central Florida, very clear conditions. Down in Miami, you can see they've got some showers moving through right now, which should clear out into the evening hours. And a bit to the west, we've got this line of clouds moving through right now, moving right through the panhandle, should make its way into Tallahassee and southern Georgia as we get into the evening hours as well. We've got some scattered showers in Arkansas right now, Little Rock. Also a lot of cloud cover for the rest of this area, the southeast, Memphis, Nashville, pretty cloudy conditions as we saw on that cam earlier. A bit to the south, we've cleared up a bit towards the panhandle and the rest of the Gulf region. And down towards South Florida and Central Florida, you can see because of those easterly winds, we've been bringing in some moisture into Broward and Miami-Dade counties, which should move its way into the western coast of South Florida as well. A look at the next 24 hours, over the next 24 hours, we'll see a lot of cloud cover move through the area actually as those easterly winds continue to move through. And over the next 24 as well, we'll see this trend continue. And as for today's storm outlook, not much for the southeast at all, really. And for tonight's forecast, we've got very mild conditions, upper 40s, low 50s for most of the viewing region. And as for tomorrow's forecast, we'll see temperatures get up into the 80s actually in the southeast. But as for now, let's look a little more locally with Zach.
Yes, thanks. Let's take a zoom in here and show you the second in a series of absolutely gorgeous sunsets that we are expecting to see tonight. Look at that, the sun just now starting to set over Doak. It's a wonderful look to your Wednesday evening. 72 right now, as Maddie said earlier, we've cooled off a couple of degrees from our high. There's calm winds. They're going to keep conditions pretty stable for the next few hours or so. Things cooling off slightly after sunset, of course, but these clear skies give you an absolutely gorgeous look at the sky out there tonight. Most of the eastern part, I would say, of the southeast, really pretty clear. We have those higher clouds going from Atlanta down towards, of course, Tallahassee. Might see a couple of those scattered showers continuing. And of course, we saw that big high pressure here off of the off the Atlantic coast, really bringing around some of that clockwise flow in Miami. You are seeing some of that onshore flow in the form of some showers. Temperatures right now all around the Big Bend, generally in the low 70s to around 70 in Apalachicola. You're our chilly spot tonight at 68 degrees. Everyone's seeing the last few moments of sunshine. Dew points comfortable here in the 40s. Quincy's a little bit drier, but for everyone else, generally mid to high 40s for your dew point. Wind speeds pretty light and variable just around the area. We're not really under the effect of anything too crazy right now as far as messing with our winds. As we look at the next 24 hours or so, Couple of those higher clouds, like I said, possible overnight tonight, but should be overall a pretty gorgeous time. Looking at the day tomorrow, we're going to see more of the same, a lot like we saw today, maybe just a couple of degrees warmer. Our 3-day forecast here, 77 degrees for tomorrow, 81 for Friday, and Saturday maybe a couple of more clouds, but an absolutely gorgeous day to do anything outside at 82 degrees. And the rest of your week ahead, I'm going to get out of the way of this absolutely beautiful weekend. Look, as we go into Thursday and Friday, 81 degrees. We might hit close to 80 tomorrow with those sunny skies sticking around. Saturday and Sunday, the partly cloudy conditions continue. And of course, don't forget, Sunday, 2 a.m., we finally are changing the clock and daylight savings time has returned. So we will have those post 7 p.m. sunsets finally. We've been missing those all winter long. Monday into Tuesday of next week, however, we start to see those rain chances return. Note there, 78, 76, we cool off slightly, and we're not super confident that the whole day is going to be a rain out or anything like that, but the clouds are going to stick around. We're keeping those rain chances right around 30 to 40%. And of course, by Wednesday of next week, still looking at maybe some showers and maybe some thunderstorms. We'll have to see how that plays out in the coming days. All right, Maddie and Josh are going to take a look now at Hawaii.
Awesome. Thank you, Zach. It seems as though for the state of Florida, the main topic of interest is the sunshine. If we take a trip over to the Pacific and visit Hawaii, that's definitely not the case. What has Hawaii been seeing the past couple of days, Josh?
Yeah, Hawaii has actually seen more than 7.5 inches of rainfall in the island of Haiku over the past 24 hours. This is an immense amount of rainfall, especially for such a short period of time. And they've actually reported 16 inches of rain in some areas more locally.
Right, exactly. For such a small area, like Josh mentioned, even anywhere around this, maybe 5 inches even, is a lot for the area. In fact, Kapakalua Dam is just 3 feet below overflowing. And we did see some overflowing earlier today. That's kind of subsided a little bit, but they're seeing some more rain come into the area. And because of this, we've seen a couple of homes unfortunately destroyed, as well as 2 bridges on the island.
Yes, we know flooding is such a big risk. It's actually the #1 hazard that we can see, especially with this amount in such a short period of time. Residents living beneath the dam have actually evacuated, which is very good for them. It's good that the state of Hawaii has enacted their emergency action plan to make sure that their residents stay safe during this crisis.
And there's even more that comes along with flooding. Of course, we do have the strong rushing waters on the streets, but with the terrain that we're seeing in Hawaii, you also have to take into account mudslides and things like that that could also affect the residents, as well as maybe farmland or any buildings that are there. So while we're talking about rain here, you also have to consider the effects that flooding causes that could be due to the mud that we see on the island.
Yes, and this dam is actually massive, the one that started to overflow. It was built in the year 1885, and it's actually 57 feet tall and 400 feet wide. So it's definitely holding an immense amount of water. So when that starts to overflow, it can cause great damages to homes, buildings, and civilians that may be below, and it may even affect the local economy.
Exactly. Once again, for this small of an area, we have to continually watch the amount of rainfall that they were receiving. We're going to see these conditions continue over the next few hours. The entire area and the entire island is covered by these warnings that are being put into effect for flash flooding.
Yes, and as we mentioned, flooding is the #1 hazard. There's so many different things that could come as a result of this. Also, with all the volcanoes located in Hawaii, it would not be a very good mixture to see all these landslides that may occur because of the changes in elevation. So as that flooding starts to come through, it may cause different things to slip, and we also got to keep out for that.
Right. So for all of those who are in Hawaii, we will definitely keep you updated. We'll be tracking it here on FSU Weather. We're going to send things back over to the wall with Zach for a look at our national.
Yeah, thanks, guys. You know, like we said, things are going to be pretty nice here in the Tallahassee area for the next couple of days, but that's not true everywhere. There's a lot of signs of spring out there. How about these warmer temperatures, though? 42 in Minneapolis, you're not really feeling all that warm, but 73 in KC, 67 in Chicago. You guys are definitely having the spring fever a couple weeks ahead of schedule. Some colder air up here towards Billings and Bismarck. You're in the 40s and 30s, but you could see pretty easily that front. Playing spot the front really easy right there's that really sharp contrast line. Going over towards Denver, we'll talk about you in a second. Could be some heavy snow on your doorstep. However, severe weather also could be taking part here in the center of the country. There is that cold front. Nice little disturbance there up towards Minneapolis. Starting to go up there into southern Canada. We're seeing some of those snow showers. Right now across the parts of the desert southwest and southern California, you can see a lot of showers and thunderstorms here. Vegas, you might even have a couple of rumbles of thunder in there. Over towards San Francisco, just a consistent onslaught of rain. This is a little bit unusual for them, but this is desperately needed rainfall in a very drought-stricken area. More scattered precipitation here as we get to the Pacific Northwest. Over here in the yellow highlight, we're going to have there's a tornado watch in effect. This is where the severe weather is kind of ramping up today. You can see the line really starting to form there just to the east of Omaha. Minneapolis right now, you're probably out of the severe threat, just a little too far to the north. You go 30, 40 miles to the west, we have heavy snow falling in parts of the Dakotas. There's that tornado watch. Winter storm warning is in effect for the next few hours here as we get into parts of northern Michigan there, and winter weather advisory here in part of the Dakotas. Winter storm watch, though, over towards Denver, and that is our next storm system that could potentially be bringing feet, yes, that's right, feet of snow still in March. Could be one of Denver's all-time snowiest Marches on record. Parts of the Lone Star State tonight, just generally some high clouds and a couple of light little showers down here. Nothing too big to worry about with the precipitation. But the red flag warnings here indicating that fire is definitely a major risk. Storm outlook, like we said, the tornado threat generally confined up here to the northern extent. Mostly a hail risk as we're looking here towards eastern Kansas and a little bit there going west of St. Louis, like right around Kansas City or so, or just south of there. That is where your hail is probably your biggest threat. Tonight's forecast, really sharp, confident dividing line here where the tail of the two air masses is 29 right now in Minneapolis, 25 tonight in Billings, 34 in Seattle. You're getting awfully close to freezing up there. Generally warmer here across the mid-Atlantic and parts of the Mississippi River Valley, 64 in Fort Worth, 67 in San Antonio. Tomorrow's forecast, the front moves slightly, but generally keeping the same pattern all here across the southeast. We're talking warmer conditions. It's going to be a little bit nicer tomorrow even than it was today if you like those warmer conditions. And of course, the Pacific Northwest, still keeping things cool. You have a big trough out there just in time for the next snowfall event to make its way in. All right, we're now going to have Josh look at our next local.
Thanks, Zach. Yes, we've been seeing very typical temperatures in our area right now. Today, the high was 75 with a low of 42 this morning, which was pretty cool. But on average, very consistent. The average high is 73 and the average low is 46. We actually have these very huge records down here. In 1932, we recorded 24 degrees in Tallahassee at this time of year, which was definitely a record setter. Not much to talk about in the way of precipitation in the local area right now. Tallahassee, no cloud cover, no precipitation. We do have these clouds moving in from the west, something to keep an eye on, but shouldn't be much of a way in the way of a rainmaker. Zooming out a bit, you can see that long line of cloud cover, really in a more big perspective. Not much precipitation contained within those high-level clouds. Over in Louisiana, you can see those little showers right now, and down in South Florida, you can also see those showers moving in from those easterly winds. But the rest of Florida is very dry and clear right now. Current temperatures, Tallahassee, we're sitting at 72 degrees. A bit to the north in Bainbridge and Thomasville, sitting at also 72 degrees. Down in Apalachicola, they're sitting at 68 and 72 in Perry. As for our dew points, we've got very not too bad dew points right now. We're sitting at 47 in Tallahassee, not too muggy and not too dry, so it's a nice night to get out there and enjoy the cool weather. 49 in Apalachicola, 46 up in Bainbridge, pretty consistent in the local area. Over the next 24 hours, we're going to see a lot of that easterly wind bring in rainfall and cloud cover into central, south, and even north Florida. And as we persist through the next 24 hours, you can see the western side of Florida will also be seeing that precipitation. As for Tallahassee, it may not make its way all the way over to us. As for tonight, we'll be getting down to a low of 49. Up in Bainbridge, they'll be getting up to 50 degrees. A bit to our south in Carabel and Apalachicola, they'll be getting to 55. So pretty mild conditions, not too chilly for our lows. And as for tomorrow's highs, we'll be getting up into the upper 70s for most of the viewing area. 77 in Tallahassee, 79 over in Bainbridge, 78 in Thomasville, and 72 down in Apalachicola. As for our marine forecast tomorrow, will be getting up to 71 degrees. Perfect boating conditions with winds coming out of the east at 5 to 10 knots. Might be a little choppy out there, something to look at, but our skies will be clear and sunny with a low UV index. And as for the week ahead, sun is the theme of this show. Thursday, Friday, highs in the upper 70s to lower 80s with lows in the upper 40s to lower 50s. Beautiful conditions. As we get into the weekend, we may see some partly cloudy skies, but other than that, still highs in the lower 80s, nice pool or beach weather, and lows in the lower to mid 50s. Make sure to turn those clock forwards on Sunday. As we make our way into early next week, we may see a change in the weather pattern. Some cloudy and rainy skies may be in our forecast for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday with highs in the upper 70s. But for now, Maddie's going to give us a look at Kansas City.
Thank you, Josh. Yeah, this week we're going to be taking a zoomed-in look specifically at Kansas City. I have a lot of family there in Overland Park and Olathe, Kansas, and I love visiting there. So I'm excited to take you guys into what's going on with the weather. Right now, pretty clear across the metro area. A couple of scattered showers coming in a little bit further west, maybe over the capital city of Topeka. Majority of the rain showers are going to be north, though. So right now, clear conditions for the Kansas City area. As Zach mentioned a little bit earlier, we do have a tornado watch just north of the area, and that's because of the front that is moving through. Right now, for most of Kansas, we're going to see those showers coming into play later today. Now we're going to look at the current temperatures. In fact, this kind of looks like what we're seeing in Florida right now, pretty much mid-70s across the board. Topeka is capping us out at 78 degrees today, but pretty warm today. The front hasn't moved in just yet. We're going to see those change over the next couple of hours as the rain comes into the area. We're going to see those temperatures drop into tomorrow. But what we really want to talk about is the wind speeds that we're seeing. Earlier today, they're about 20, 25 miles per hour. We're reaching 28 in Kansas City, even 26 in Olathe, and 27 down in Harrisonville. We've got some fast wind speeds coming in, and that's because of the front that's moving in. So breezy and warm out there. It's a great night, maybe to fly a kite if you're feeling it before that rain comes in later into tomorrow. And like I mentioned, we're going to look at the next 24 hours, but we're going to pause about 12 hours through just to show you where that rain is coming in. Pretty much south of the area, over into Missouri, Columbia region, Kansas City, you might see a couple of showers. Nothing too much of note. Severe weather will stay south of you and then move off into the east. And to continue with that forecast, we're going to see that move out later into tomorrow, Thursday night, 6 p.m. You will be in the clear, no rain to speak of, and nice clear conditions for the remainder of the evening. But over the next 3 days, this is our rainfall amount that we're seeing, about half an inch, maybe to an inch for most of the metro area, spanning from Eudora all the way over to Richmond. And we're going to see those higher rainfall amounts south, just like we saw with that front passing through, and that'll continue on into tomorrow. This is our 3-day outlook. But for the week ahead, really not the best conditions. We are seeing some maybe spring-like temperatures, definitely spring-like conditions with all the rain that's coming through. 60 degrees is going to cap us out on Thursday. We're going to see those temperatures drop throughout the week with mid-50s. Make sure to spring forward ahead with those hours. I do want to note of these low temperatures, getting into the low 40s, might even pick into the 30-degree mark. I'm going to pass things over to Zach now with another look at Florida.
Yes, thanks, Maddie. Kansas City's a lot of fun. I've been there a couple of times myself. It's time, though, to look at our favorite state, and that would be Florida. Right now, 70s pretty much all across the board. A little cooler here to the north, Jacksonville right now. You're at 65 degrees or so. 69 in Orlando, an absolutely fantastic day. Pretty much everywhere here across the state of Florida. Dew points vary slightly. You're starting to get a little humid as we get down here towards Miami and Key West, around 61 degrees or so. Jacksonville to Gainesville, Tallahassee, you know, right around those upper 40s to low 50s for your dew point, so not muggy and also not dry. Right around there is, I consider, a pretty decent dew point. Clear skies for a good part of the state. Definitely the Sunshine State today. It doesn't seem to always stay that way, but today is certainly one to write down, except if you're in Miami. We have a couple of those little showers down there from the onshore flow. Area kind of dominated. There's a big high pressure system right here, and there's really a lot of clockwise flow, really pushing those winds onshore. Light rain showers. We're not talking about severe weather. We're not talking about flooding, but the sun is not shining brightly here across the Everglades tonight. Miami tomorrow, 76 degrees, 79, and then 80 by Saturday, keeping those rain chances low, thankfully, after tonight. And there's nice scattered clouds, only thing in the sky. Central Florida tonight, really generally pretty clear, except for Point St. Lucie or so. You could have a little bit, once again, of showers down there. But as we make our way up towards Tampa, once again, lower to mid-80s, keeping those rain chances low and those skies sunny. Orlando, also pretty much more of the same, maybe a degree or two cooler, but virtually the same forecast with those scattered clouds continuing. Jacksonville tonight, you are looking absolutely fantastic. Not a lot of anything to be seen on the radar. You can see all the way to the ground, and stargazing or any of those related activities tonight will be fantastic. 73 as we get into the day tomorrow, warming up slightly for this weekend. If you want to head out to Jacksonville Beach, looking at right around 80 degrees for Saturday. Pretty much no chance of rain. It looks awesome for you there as well. And finally, here in the Western Panhandle, Defuniak Springs down to Panama City, over towards East Point and Apalachicola. Could see, once again, like I said, some more of those higher clouds as we see proceeding here to the east, but overall not associated with any kind of precipitation or anything that's going to wreck your forecast. Looking also just equally good, a couple of degrees cooler than we saw in South Florida, but still dry and keeping those sunny skies around. Tonight's forecast in Florida, generally cooler with 50s in the northern half of the state. Tomorrow's forecast, however, pretty much a carbon copy of today, a couple of degrees warmer with sunny skies across the board. Maddie's going to give us our last look at our local.
Awesome. Thank you, Zach. We're going to bring it in locally to Tallahassee and just give you guys one last look about what we're going to be expecting over the next few days. Just like last night, a beautiful sunset is setting over Doak Campbell Stadium. Take a peek at it if you can. Get outside while you can. And with the spring hours coming forward next week, we're going to see a lot more of these in the upcoming days. Right now, 72 degrees with partly cloudy conditions. Winds very, very calm. We're going to see those temperatures drop a little bit throughout the evening, but just a beautiful evening outside. Coming into the local area right now, 72 might be what we're topping it off at for the Big Bend area. A lot of other regions are seeing the same temperature as us, 70 in Quincy, 71 in Bainbridge. A little bit cooler down along the coast in Apalachicola, but once again, very warm for this time of year. And we're seeing a lot of very calm winds as well. We have a high pressure system sitting over us right now, so it's just very calm and very dry conditions. Nothing to complain about. This is my favorite type of weather. That's why I came down to Florida for schooling. We're looking at very calm conditions in Tallahassee. A little bit further north, we're seeing in Donaldsonville, 8 miles per hour along the coast, very calm as well. Pretty much the main point of the show today is that there's not too much going on in terms of rain and precipitation. Some higher level clouds will be moving into the area later this evening, and all that's going to do is give us a beautiful sunset within the next few hours, and we're going to see that continue over into tomorrow. Zooming out for the national look, just to talk about what we're going to be seeing over the next few days ahead. We do have a nice cold pressure system that will be making its way further east as it's moving across the board, bringing in the severe weather that we saw a little bit in Iowa and talking about Kansas City a little bit earlier. That's going to be making its way across into the southeast and potentially giving us some rain early into next week. So we're talking about all these warm temperatures, so get outside while you can and enjoy them while we have them. Over the next 24 hours, we're going to stop about 12 hours through. Once again, nothing too much of note, beautiful sunny conditions. Temperatures are going to drop a little bit due to the lack of cloud cover, but nothing out of the ordinary. And then we might see some clouds moving in later into tomorrow, and definitely south along Perry and even further down into the state of Florida. Tonight, 47 degrees, mostly clear, a little breezy, nothing too much of note. It's going to be absolutely gorgeous. Zach was saying a little bit earlier, if you're into stargazing, tonight is the night, tomorrow is the night. Take advantage of it while you can. And looking at what we're looking for tomorrow, I sat outside by the pool today, and I'll probably do the same thing again tomorrow, peaking at 75 degrees at 5 p.m. tomorrow evening. Mostly sunny conditions throughout the entire day, 71 at noon. Make sure to bring out that sunscreen. The UV is going to get about 7 tomorrow. For the week ahead, I am so glad that we are here in Florida and not over in Kansas City or even Hawaii, because as you can see, the sun will be shining for the next few days ahead. We're going to be looking at the weekend over the next couple of days on the show, so tune in tomorrow so you can talk about the 82 degrees that we'll be seeing. I'll give you one last look at the local, and heads up for those rain chances that could be coming into the area. We're going to close things out with the desk with Josh and Zach.
Thanks, Maddie. We've talked about a lot today, mostly things outside of our area because of such the clear blue skies that we'd be seeing. Not much in the way of weather makers in the Tallahassee region right now.
Absolutely. And like I said, I've said before on the show, we've had a pretty interesting start to 2021, and it's always nice to take a couple days off, just enjoy the sun and focus on what's happening elsewhere. It's not always awesome just to live in the active weather all the time.
Of course, but for the folks in Hawaii, their 2021 is definitely off to a wild start. with seeing 7.5 inches of rain in only a span of 24 hours. That is a lot of rain in such a short amount of time that those citizens there really need to be made known of the risks of flooding in their area.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy, and thankfully we don't have any chance of flooding here, really anywhere in our metro area for the next at least 7 to 10 days. A couple of light chances of rain as we get into Monday and Tuesday of next week. I'd see if we can pop in a couple thunderstorms in there as well, make things a little more interesting, but it doesn't look like a severe outlook and certainly doesn't look like any flooding, thankfully.
Yeah, thank you. And Maddie also showed us what's going on in Kansas City right now with all those tornado warnings and watches that have been popping up in the area throughout the day.
Yeah, it's another good sure sign of spring. Severe weather season is popping off.
But for now, you can give us a follow on Twitter at FSU Weather.
Make sure to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/FSU Weather and get all of our updates.
And we always are streaming live Monday through Friday, 6 o'clock on YouTube at FSU Weather.
And of course, follow us on Instagram at FSU Weather. If you're going to be in Denver or anywhere out there, send us some snow pictures. Send us some hail pictures if you're in eastern Kansas tonight.
Of course, and you can also show us some pictures of that beautiful Tallahassee sunshine that we've been seeing the past few days.
That is absolutely our favorite.
But for the rest of the week, we'll be keeping an eye out on that rain that may be coming in the early portions of next week.
Absolutely. Well, I'm student meteorologist Zach Richards.
And I'm student meteorologist Josh Green. Have a great evening.